The counting and controversy of the election has now given way to celebration. President-elect Joe Biden took that stage. He laid out his agenda, trying to deliver a message of hope and a promise to heal what is still a divided country. For his perspective on the Biden presidency win, let's bring in someone who has also just been re-elected into the U.S. House of Representatives. Brian Higgins is a Democratic congressman representing Buffalo and Niagara Falls in western New York, also co-chair of the Congressional Northern Border Caucus, which deals with the relationship with Canada. Mr. Higgins joins me now from Buffalo. Good to see you there, Congressman.
Thank you for having me this morning.
And congratulations. I don't think your election was quite as drawn out as the one for president. So good for you for making it a little bit easier. Let's start with your reaction. Let's start with your reaction to the win of President-elect Joe Biden. How are you feeling about it today?
Very, very good. I know Joe Biden very well. He is a good man. He has been shaped throughout his life, both his personal life and his political life, by both triumph but tragedy as well. And we're reminded of the most influential poet of the 19th century, William Wordsworth, when he said, "Not without hope we suffer and we mourn." Joe Biden lost his wife and infant daughter at the age of 29 in a tragic car accident. He lost his son to brain cancer. He came close to death himself in 1988 with 2 brain aneurysms, overcame a stuttering problem in a profession that demands flawless communication skills, and his only son, remaining son, surviving son, has battled drug and alcohol addiction in the most public of ways. So I think, given what we've been through in the past several months with this pandemic and the failed U.S. federal government response, I think it is fitting that we elected an individual who is the personification of the term that we are all broken, and that it is through compassion, humility, and empathy that we heal.
Well, I do like a politician who starts off with a poem, Congressman, so you've sort of won me over there. But I want to get it down to brass tacks a little bit.
Sure.
Joe Biden has a pretty ambitious agenda. He does have to sort of undo some of the things that Donald Trump put in place. But it is not yet clear the Democrats will have control of the Senate. How difficult will it be to actually do things if that is the case?
Well, Joe Biden served in the United States Senate before, for many years before his election with Barack Obama as vice president. He is known to be a guy that has the ability to cross the aisle and work with the other side, the Republicans in this case. The hope is that we will have a majority in the Senate, but it looks as though that won't be determined until early January. So right now, you would have 48 Republican members, 48 Democratic members, but keep in mind, in that scenario, in that context, it would be the vice president that could break a tie with any legislation moving forward. So that's still to be determined.
You know many Republicans. I'm sure you're friends with many Republicans. What do you make of much of the silence from Republican representatives today?
Fear. They're afraid of a guy who's a bully. And he has demonstrated as president of the United States. I mean, you wouldn't tolerate this from your kids, the kind of the personal insults, the fear that he has stoked amongst the American people. He has divided, helped contribute to the division of this country. And Joe Biden is a guy that will unite people. That's his tradition. That's his reputation. And I think his election, with more votes, by the way, 74.5 million votes, that has been gathered by any presidential candidate. So I think it comes at an appropriate time.
Can I ask you about the Canada-U.S. relationship? Because I know it is of importance to you as well as co-chair of the Congressional Northern Border Caucus. How different do you think it will be? I mean, our government found a way to work with President Trump, but how different do you think it will be for this country?
It'll be dramatically different. The United States-Canadian relationship is very, very important. I represent 2 border communities. I played hockey in Canada. I grew up in the Canadian shores of Lake Erie at Bay Beach and Crystal Beach, and that was the tradition in my community. But that relationship has taken a major, major hit. The fact of the matter is the 37 or 38 million people in Canada, they are our friends. They are our trading partners. They have been with us in the toughest times, including 9/11. And this relationship has taken a major hit over the past 4 years because of the arrogance of this president. You know, you look at the whole situation with COVID-19. The Canadian federal government response and the provincial response was early, strong, and united. The U.S. response was slow, sloppy, and chaotic. And consequently, we have considerably more COVID-19 cases and deaths than Ontario, which we border. And that is a shame. And on a number of other issues, trade, and just a general presumption of civility that has been lacking in the last 4 years. And Joe Biden will correct that immediately. And I understand that your Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has already reached out to President-elect Biden, and I think that's indicative of a vastly improved relationship that will occur over the next 4 years.
Okay, Congressman Brian Higgins, so good of you to make the time for Canada this morning. Thank you, and again, congratulations on your re-election, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.